getting everything ready. All right, hold on. We got this. There it is. I just grabbed this coffee like 2 minutes ago. Doesn't get much fresher than that. Alrighty. Oh, here we go. Don't dump the coffee. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday. Woo! May 24th, 2019. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. So good. So good. Well, bunch of questions to answer from you guys. YouTube's starting to grow. That's been really fun to watch this week. Yeah. It's a rainy day outside, but I'm seeing some flowers come through on the apple trees, which is nice. I was a little worried with the late snow that we might lose all those buds, but maybe this will be a good apple year. Last couple of years, I've had very few apples. I don't eat a lot of apples. I like apples, but there was a time in my 20s after college where I was not financially flush, and apples were a big part of my diet because they're cheap, especially in the Northeast. I don't really want to eat a lot of apples anymore, but I do use apples for making cider vinegar, and the deer like them, so I like looking out in my backyard and seeing, half a dozen deer. That's nice. Yesterday was a crazy busy day. Coming up next month, we finalized some of the logistical plans yesterday. One of my clients, one of my non-martial arts related things, though people involved have done martial arts. That's not how I know them. They are moving to Costa Rica, and I will be assisting them logistically, technologically. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun trip. It's one of those things, kind of be careful what you ask for. I've been been saying, I'd like a vacation. And then these people come to me and say, hey, we have to move. Come help us. We'll pay. Okay, cool. So, get a few days away. That'll be nice. Today is just as, if not busier. I have no idea how I'm getting all this done. There's a lot going on. I have like 4 meetings. But hopefully we'll get to go to Kempo tonight. I'm gonna go to Kempo tonight. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get it all done. So, there were quite a few questions that came in yesterday. I got 4 questions to answer. So, what else was going on this weekend? It's a holiday weekend. Yes, I will be available I will be doing First Cup on Monday, even though it's Memorial Day. I may be tired. A friend of mine's a chef, and he's catering a large event and asked for some help. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm doing that Sunday night. So I may be a little more tired than normal. We'll see. But on the other side of the event, there are I expect some fun stories. So I'll let you know about those. What else is going on this weekend? Hoping to plant some stuff in the garden, because the plants that I have over there are kind of going crazy. They really need to get in the ground. So let's take a look at these questions. There we go. Hey, it didn't flip over this on me. All right. I know you've covered long layoffs and injuries before on Martial Arts Radio. Yes. But I'd like to know your thoughts on changing styles after a long year's layoff. I just started Taekwondo after not being active for several years in Shorin Ryu. Now, several pounds and a bad knee, assume later, is a word missing, and pushing 50. It's tough, but I'm loving it. Any thoughts or advice? The number one bit of advice I give people when they change styles is to not hold yourself to the same expectation of skill, of progress, of knowledge that you did or would in your original style. I've trained in a number of schools, and every time I go to the new school, I try to enjoy being that white belt in the back of the room, because you get to observe everything, you get to see everyone, and the expectation for your skill and your knowledge is non-existent. You never learn more rapidly than you do as a white belt, and I just think that's so much fun. So try to enjoy being doing something and having that opportunity for rapid progress. Oh, I yawned. Yes, sorry. Do I have to apologize for yawning on this show? I don't think so. It's called First Cup. I'm literally waking up with a cup of coffee talking about martial arts. So I think that does it. Just try to relax. Just try to be chill about it. You'll be fine. Various fighting styles within martial art have often been compared to animals. Yeah, 7 animal kung fu, etc. Which animal do you think best reflects your fighting style? I had a friend in college who used to call me a badger, but that had nothing to do with fighting. He thought I was often too intense. I'm probably closest to a snake, because I'm not super active. I kind of hang. I just watch, that kind of head movement, and then I'll kind of pounce or strike. Are there other animals that might be a better fit? No, I don't think so. That's a great question. I've never even considered that. It has been said that as martial artists, we should, quote, expect the unexpected. How do you think we can best go about doing that? I don't think that's just a good thing for martial artists to contemplate, but it's a good thing for everyone to contemplate. Expect the unexpected. I have a saying. You can be underprepared or you can be overprepared. You will never be perfectly prepared. I will always choose to be overprepared. And this is why when I travel, I tend to bring a bigger suitcase and more stuff. It's why I have a pen in my pocket. It's why I have a knife in my pocket pretty much all the time. Yes, I could use that knife for self-defense, but I never have. But I've used it plenty to open boxes and do other things that were necessary. I'm going to be doing a video at some point coming up on improvised martial arts weapons and the things that I carry with me every day. So when we talk about expecting the unexpected, there's a misnomer in that sentence, and people who push back against preparedness and survivalism and whatever words you use there will look at that and say, well, if it's expected, it can't be unexpected. Okay. How about expect the improbable, prepare for the unlikely, right? And then the self-defense aspect of martial arts is all about that. And people will say to me, well, why do you have to be so prepared for a physical altercation? Do you really think that's going to happen? No. If I thought it was going to happen, I wouldn't be going to that place. Right? And I think that that's most of us. You can avoid the majority of problems, this is not my saying, but by avoiding going to stupid places with stupid people and doing stupid things. Right? We know what those things and those places and who those people are. But to prepare for scenarios that are improbable, for example, Mr. Tony Blauer, a lot of the scenarios that he coaches people through when it comes to self-defense are more realistic and set you at a disadvantage, which is usually where an aggressor is going to choose to be, in the position of power or authority. Whether that be someone behind you at an ATM or someone attempting to carjack you. People are messaging me. It is unlikely, it is improbable that someone is going to carjack me, especially in Vermont. But playing through that scenario from a self-defense perspective, trying to understand the pros and well, there's probably no pro in there, the options, understanding the disadvantages, understanding what can be done, I think is critical to understanding martial arts and how everything works. And I think the more we can work through these difficult scenarios, the better a martial artist you are. Quite often when I coach sparring drills, when I travel around, one of the drills I work with is people artificially restricting what limbs they can use. Okay, take your left hand, put it behind your back, tuck it in your belt. You can't use it now. Dramatically changes the way people move and fight. No kicking. You can only use your right hand. You can only use the right side of your body. And you say, well, okay, so if you get injured, what if you're carrying a child? You have a baby in one arm. You're not going to throw the baby. You're not going to put the baby down. You may not be able to run. How do you fight with a baby? It's real. So to explore the expecting of the unexpected, I think really falls more into self-defense than other aspects of martial arts. Are there other places we could look at it? Sparring, any kind of exchange with another person. How would you handle it if your opponent did this? Especially if you're looking to compete and get to a higher level of competition. I think there's some importance, some relevance there. Yeah, I think that works. Well, I'll send you off with your homework in a moment. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope if you get the opportunity to take Monday off, that you enjoy that time, whether you're with friends or family. I'm kind of doing a half, working a half day. But other than that, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to have a great weekend. Don't forget, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. But you can catch it later at firstcupwithjeremy.com or audio in your podcast feed. If you haven't subscribed to First Cup with Jeremy in your podcast app, please do. Those numbers, those downloads help us grow, help us, ultimately I'm trying to attract some sponsors to this show especially. But I'm going to need your help getting the numbers up so we can do that. I would love to have sponsors that are not generic. The one sponsor we do on the audio feed is the podcast hosting platform. They pay almost nothing, and it's a pretty generic sponsorship. I'd rather pull that down and put something up that has relevance to this community. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you get the little ringy dingy when we go live. That's why I give you 30 seconds while I get my coffee situated to tune in. Excuse me, before we start the heart of the show. And don't forget to check out Martial Arts Radio. You can pop over to that playlist here on YouTube. Episode 399 yesterday. Something's happening. That was a calendar reminder. All right, here's your homework. We all have our expectations of how the day is going to go, how life is going to go. And those expectations play a huge role on what we do and how we do it. Just for a little while, maybe 5 minutes, maybe an hour, consider all of the other things that could happen, things that could go wrong, things that could go right, things that are not normally going to happen. Take a look at those. if you're working in an office, feel free to take this as far as you're comfortable. What if an aggressor came into the office? What would you do? What if two people came in? What if on the way home in an area without cell phone service, you blew a tire? What would you do? Right? Start to think about how your assumptions affect your actions. And then start to let some of those assumptions unravel and just see how they impact your actions. It's important to see that correlation. I'm not saying you have to change anything, but let the way you do things be a choice and not blind.